comedian. But you know, they sell stuff to help if it ain't a WAP. You know, they sell stuff on the aisle with a condom that you can.
This episode is over. That's my brother.
I can't with you. Kale, I can't with you, man.
No, it's like that don't keep a man. Matter of fact, that don't even get you one. Cause by the time he inside you, like he's gotten you before he got inside you. Like that don't, you know what I'm saying? It don't get you, it don't get him, and it don't keep him. Cause it's like I don't care what it is. There's always something wetter. There's always somebody that does it a different way that you never had it before. There's somebody better. Like it don't matter. Like that stuff. Like the actual person keeps the person. Like that love keeps the person. But
yeah.
Like it's just, and that's just, it's really like, it's crazy because it's bedroom talk, and it's just so,
right.
It's like, why are we like having a conversation about like women get away with like so much stuff? Y'all get away with so much stuff. Like, like yo, think about like yo, how many celebrities that you like? They got Kylie, whatever, you know, she came out, and, you know, she wasn't wearing any panties. And some paparazzi got a shot of her crotch. We're like, hey, walking out, and this dress is like just showing straight nipples, and you see a little vagina. Like, imagine this guy coming out, it's like, hey, Tom came out, in this picture, he has a little thick tip out. You know what I'm saying? He's just giving him a little bit. Like imagine, like, how would that, it would be perverse, right? It would be, oh, that guy's a pervert. Like he like, I got kids. I don't want my kids to see that. You know what I'm saying? It's like it is that double standard. Like, yo, if I had kids, I wouldn't want my kids to be like, yo, watching TV and it's like some whatever on TV or the online something like, and it's a celebrity and they got this outfit on and it's like they're exposing themselves. Like, why would I want my child to be exposed of like, you know what I'm saying? Something that happens that's a nature as a child. Like, why would I want that? But I'm just saying, like, women they got so much rope. Like, you can't have a video of some dudes with a bunch of like penises out. Like, there's some man whores and it's all like,
with that being said, though, I think that's what they're talking about. They're talking about the fact like that men can talk about this stuff and they feel like, oh, it's a big deal because we're talking about it as women, but men be talking about it all the time. Or they might be like, well, men go around with their chest out all the time. You know what I mean? Like, that's what people say. Now, I ain't saying that's with me. I ain't saying that's my opinion, but I'm just saying that's what people say. Like, to be like, oh, well, men is free to do all this and that and the other, but women are free. That's why they're like free to nipple now, you know, and all this.
Well, I can say that now there is a huge group of men that are like in the fitness and stuff, and they work out and stuff, and you know they walk around and they good. Now there's another group of men who don't work out, and we ain't gonna be out here with shirts off and just walking around. You say what?
A lot of women, they want to free the nipple, not me.
I'm like, yo, like women, unless you in Africa, like, you know what I'm saying, you ain't walking around like a dude walking around with no shirt on is not the equivalent to a woman walking around with no shirt on. It's not the equivalent. Like
yeah, I don't think it is. I don't think it is either. Like,
yeah, that's a private thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I guess it's something about the y'all nipples versus our nipples.
No, I mean, I agree with what you guys are saying. I do feel like there's a difference between men and women. Clear differences in one of them. You know what I mean? So I totally get it. But I'm just telling you what the people are saying out there. That's what they talking about. Like,
you know, men will drop lines in music, but there's no straight up, hey, this is a straight cock song. You got two dudes rapping about their cocks. Like, you just not going.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never thought of it.
Look, they gonna collab. Yeah, you won't get that song.
That's right.
Look,
Absolutely.
hey, look. Now, don't speak too soon unless like some like Lil
Yeah.
Nas X and Frank Ocean or somebody come up with a
That's
collab. Then they
that's
gonna be
true. That's gonna be wild. Whoa.
like,
Hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
but I get it though. I get it. But Kim said something earlier about fantasy, right? There's something that's fantasy. And if you really truly think about it, the video concept, right, and the song itself, the songwriting process of it, it's really just letting you know that, hey, we're buying into this. And like I said, it's almost like you're on that threshold when you're dealing with, because this is just to me and my interpretation of it. You got pornography, but also it can lean into prostitution at the same time as well. So that's what it looks like to me personally. That you're teetering into this and you're buying into the fantasy of this song, and you are saying it as an affirmation, like I'm a harlot, pretty much. That's what you're saying, and you're saying that it's okay to be this way and to have a lifestyle as a harlot, and et cetera, et cetera. But I'm like, what does your daughter culture going to say about that when she gets of age and she witnesses that her mom is doing X, Y, and Z and what she did in her past? And like what Neil said earlier, you know, hey, she got divorced recently. So obviously something didn't work in your favor. And this wasn't the first time that her ex-husband was caught cheating. So he's been doing it numerous times, which tells you there's something in his generational bloodline that probably his father and his father's father have done these things in the past as well. But it's saying that, oh, it's okay. Now, quote unquote, you may have or had the hottest female rapper there is as of the moment.
mm-hmm.
And it's like, yo, that's a trophy case. No, I got my trophy. But then you're like, well, I'm still going to tip on her and go and get yourself a side piece. And then you say, well, I know I can come back to her because I know what type of woman she is, but I know what she'll do for me. And that's it. So you're dealing also with a selfish generation. You're dealing with selfish men and women at the same time as well, too. Because when you're talking about principles, you're talking about having a certain order or a certain standard about yourself and how the way you're going to be valued. I'm saying as a man or as a woman, that plays a huge role because, again, let's go back to the video. I'm looking at Kylie Jenner walking down the hallway, and she got on, leopard print on all the way through, going to the other room, and it's like the little doorknob with the leopard head on the front. Go in, the entire room is in leopard print, but like, what did Kylie Jenner do? Yeah, we know that she's a billionaire, right? And she has a fashion line, a clothing line, lingerie line, and stuff like that. But we're talking about the Kardashians. Now, I'm not knocking the Kardashians. What I'm saying is the statement. What I'm saying is that if a lot of people have bought into their ideology that they are the upper tone or the epitome of beauty from a Eurocentric aspect. But check it though. These girls have been through Botox, plastic surgery. They done got, some stuff and nipped and all this kind of crazy stuff and got themselves and bought themselves some hips and some butt and all this type of stuff. So a lot of people have bought into the fantasy, and that's the reason why pornography is a $13+ billion industry, more than sports, more than anything on the planet, because people have bought into the idea. Participants and people who made those type of productions, adult industry, and all that stuff. And it's like, you're saying to me that it's okay to do this, when in reality it's not, because you have now messed up a whole entire generation to thinking that this is what beauty is supposed to be like. And it really isn't. So we got to unravel and untangle all the things that have come across our lenses and on our screens for a very, very long time. So it's just a mess. It really is all the way around because you have blurred the lines of what the definition of beauty is, and also you have blurred the lines of dealing with, well, what does real beauty supposed to look like? Because the Bible tells us that, hey, look, beauty on the outside, one day is going to fade away. What do you have left at the end of the day?
So I can't tell you what Culture is gonna be saying. Them same lyrics that her mama said. Them same lyrics. That's what she gonna be saying.
Oh, no, no.
Kids do what they see.
Well, look, what? I was gonna ask y'all something, but I'm like, I don't know. I mean,
Dude, go ahead, ask away.
Yo, what is this? You like, I'm going.
Don't get scared now. Come on.
No, it's not that. It's just, I want to be long y'all time. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, obviously, okay. Well, I done brought it up now. Here we go. So, okay. So the only reason I watched the video is because my husband was like, "Well, you're gonna be talking about these things, so you need to watch it." Because at first I was just gonna read the lyrics, and I was cool with that because that's all I needed to know what it was gonna be. But I was like, all right, fine. As the host last month, right? So I watched it, and he was kind of watching it with me or whatever. So after we got done, I was like, what you think of that? And he just kind of started walking out of the room like, it was too much for me. It's vulgar, X, Y, and Z. And I'm sitting here like, but you can be honest now if it turned you on. Like, you know what I mean? Tell me, like, it's just real conversation. I just wanted to know from a male perspective. Like, did it turn you on? Like, did you like what you were seeing? Like, whatever, I ain't gonna judge him if he like, well, I actually like that part right there. You know what I mean? But for him, he just, well, the way he told me, now I don't know, he could have just been lying. But or trying to tell me what I want to hear. But no, I mean, like he was saying it was too vulgar. It didn't turn him on from what he said. And so I guess I'm asking y'all the same question. Like so overall, when it came to the video as y'all was watching, like was it like this is kind of turned me on a little bit, but I don't like it, or like where y'all was at when y'all was what? Don't run your faces.
So it's for me it's art. Like we're all part of like the industry. So for me,
Right.
it's art. But as far as like I've been to the strip club, and I work hard for my money, and I don't really like paying for a fantasy. So I mean, the video's cool, but yeah, it does nothing for me. I my fantasy, if I'm gonna pay for a fantasy, it need to be acted out in real life, and not just viewing it. So yeah, I mean, it's just art for me.
Well, that was for you. You had to pay for it. Easy access.
Look, technically, I am paying for it, so you got to have internet to view the video.
Oh my God.
Touche, bro. Touche.
I have power to keep the phone charged.
Right. Look, you gotta have a TV or a device.
Some device, right?
You're right. What other things I got to say, Christian men folk? What y'all think of it?
I mean, like looking at it, it's like I just like real bodies. I mean, like all the what you call it, like I ain't gonna lie, like and say like, hey, that's not sexy. It's just disgusting, because it's like, hey, I started watching porn when I was young, which was bad. And, it's like some stuff just is just in there. So it's like, oh, you see a woman. I've been to strip clubs. It's like, I ain't gonna lie and be like, oh wow, look at that, and say that, hey, it's not arousing or it's not whatever. But it's like looking at it, it's like It's like, and what's so special about this? Like, it's like your body's fake. It's like it's not the real you. Like your breasts are just abnormally huge and they look really firm and everything just looks hard. Like I never touched a fake butt before, but I was never a fan of them. But I feel like they don't move the same way as the real ones. But anyway, but like to me, it's just like how you talking about like just like Kylie Jenner, like all the Botox and all that stuff. It's like, man, like that's like that is like Sarah Bartman was like paraded and exploited. Like she's this South African lady, and you know she was incredibly like voluptuous and stuff. And it's like you think of like back in whatever 15th century Europe, how the women wear like the those little dress that looked like they had like a buggy hang. I'm like, was that like a mimic of the black woman? Like, yo, what was going on there? But like, it's just interesting, like how, like, yo, it's like overall the video is to me is not very creative. It's it's like, oh wow, it's like it reminded me of the Anaconda video. Like I saw that video. It's like, all right, so you took a piece of that, you added that there, and you got the colors, you got stuff moving like how someone was saying with the Willy Wonka thing and just the whole kind of colorful kitty. It's I mean, it looked nice visually as a video.
Yeah, definitely. It looks nice, but like in reality.
Yeah. It had a great director who did it. Like, you know what I'm saying? That guy is like he does a lot of music videos. But that's all. It's not really much there to. It's like, oh wow, yay, that's it. Oh my god.
Yeah. The idea of just of a fantasy is like it just don't sit well with me. It's like I'd rather be in the real world than to be daydreaming and paying for something that are buying into something that is never going to be a reality.
Yeah.
Furthermore, it's not even healthy. Honestly, it's not healthy for me. Honestly, I've been to strip clubs, like what Neil said, and Kill was right as well too. Yeah, it's they are expressing art, right? Whether we agree with it or not, but that to each his own. It is art, but me personally, the thing that I looked at was when I started looking at the video after I read the lyrics. I was looking for certain things like symbolism beyond all of that because I'm a very detailed person, and me being an actor and all that, we look at it's just like that movie, right? The first time you look at a movie, you're looking at it for entertainment purposes, and then the second time you look at it, or the third time you look at it, or the fourth time you look at that same movie, now you're just breaking things down and you're just depicting it one by one. So, me personally, what I felt from the video was the spirit of Eros, which is just short for erotic or to be aroused. You know what I mean? The surface level and the sexual level of the video itself, the artist and things like that. We know that they are curvy, voluptuous women, right? It's just unexplained. You know what I mean? Like it's right there. And I feel like also in the video, they had certain figures in the video besides themselves and saying that this is their expression of beauty, right? That people are buying into the fake this, the fake that, the boobs and the butt and all that stuff as well too. Like that's their new thing of saying that this is what beauty is about. So no one is let me rephrase that. They're buying into it and they're walking away from what real beauty is. That's what I'm looking at in that perspective. They're walking away from what real beauty is truly all about because, for goodness sake, you had Kylie Jenner in there. That's just self-explanatory. Like, well, you can do anything, honestly. you know, and that's not my epitome of what beauty truly is. So, and yeah, the video was very vivid, it was very colorful, you know, so it does draw your attention, it pulls you in. But after the fact, it's like, well, what else do you have left? Truly nothing. So
Nothing. And from what I saw, it wasn't even WAP the whole video. It was only one scene where they was playing the water.
oh my god.
Oh man.
Well, there you have it, friends. That's the male perspective of the video. Wow. I just want to shout out these gentlemen again. Thank you so much, all of y'all, for joining the conversation. You know, I'm sure there's a lot to say about a lot of the things that we touched on in this. I don't know, was that your final thoughts, or did y'all have anything else y'all wanted to say?
I'm good.
Anybody else? All hearts and minds clear.
Neil said I'm done. Kel said I'm done. But I'll probably say my last comment for this segment is that's not it. Love yourself. Honestly. Truly, truly love yourself. And like the woman needs to understand where real beauty comes from. Real beauty comes from God. You know, it doesn't come from an industry. It doesn't come from executives. It doesn't come from a label. You know, are you trying to redefine women empowerment? The only empowerment that you need to get is from the Most High. And for you to understand what your beauty is, just read the book. Just read the book. Read the word, literally, because that's not it. And in a certain degree, I do feel sorry for Cardi B because she does need a lot of help. She does need a lot of prayer. And, you know, she's in the midst of a divorce now. You know what I mean? So obviously that didn't work out for you. So what's your next move that you're going to do? You know? So she needs to have a lot of love, a lot of support, and a lot of prayer. But beauty doesn't come from that. Beauty has always been an internal thing. So your insides must match your outside, and both sides must be beautiful the way that God intended it. I'm done.
That just brought me to a scripture. Seek ye first
Come on, Kel.
the kingdom of God in all things. I'm done. Shall be added unto you. So, you know.
Yes.
Well, man, y'all, you know what? I enjoy being a fly on the wall of y'all's conversations. I appreciate y'all taking out the time and indulging little old me and also sharing with everybody else. So there you guys have it again. Male perspective on WAP, y'all. Keep the conversation going.